nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical. We can roll the image, make it flutter. We can change the focus to a soft blur, or sharpen it to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your television set. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to 420.
There is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the mud zone.
Spooky.
Wanna get high? Wanna get high? Wanna get high? Wanna get high? Was that a party or?
Ho, ho, ho.
The world is flat. I'm here to ring the alarm with my puppet like charm, straight from the barn. I'm talking about Flat Earth Farms, cause most don't know. They think we live on a globe, a ball that floats. So listen and take notes, and take it to a higher plane. Imagine yourself in all it contains, in all its glory and flair. Flat Earth Farms can take you there. Open your mind outside the box. No more staring at NASA's Photoshop. No more moon landings, no line to ya. No more people standing backwards in Australia. Just facts and pure truth, planning straight to the roots. Flat Earth Farms help you understand. A magical place on a wondrous land.
The world is flat, and that's a fact. Tell your friends next time you chat. Let them know a ball ain't that. Let's stay playing with the baseball bat. Cause we coming out the barn, a higher place. The Flat Earth Farm.
This could be it, Harry. Pass the word along. Tell the men it's time to shoot the moon.
Shoot the moon!
Not out there on the microphone. On the microphone.
Shoot the moon. Shoot the moon.
What are we gonna do tonight, Singe Man?
The same thing we do every night, Boston Ray. Try to take over the world.
You've done this 1,000 times. And the show must go on. You've got to give the people what they want. Piece of cake.
Man, I'm just sitting back watching the pussification of this whole country. Can't say this, I can't say that. Shit, what the fuck can I say? When did y'all become so fucking sensitive, man? Lighten up. I'm just here to entertain you. And if that triggers you, well, then you're a pussy. Listen, it's a cold world, easier to play this shit safe. Knowing how the world gon' judge you if you make a mistake. These miserable fucking people so saturated with hate, they can't wait to pile it on someone else's plate. Like if I'm right with every word except for one in the song, they'll only focus on and judge me for the one that was wrong. Cancel this, cancel that, fucking welcome to America. The home of specializing in assassinating character. I hate it, I prefer going in guns blazing, annihilating anyone who's testing my patience. Ain't no room for pussyfooting in the rap game, and I'm drawn to controversy like a moth to a flame. And you little snowflakes better quit your complaining. Not racist, I'm just not too big on the Asians. Shit, I'm kidding you, idiot, but with no hesitation. These fuckers run with it and post it up on Twitter while saying that Webby's some sort of bigot for fucking making a joke. You're not woke, you're just sensitive and quick to provoke. So I'd like to invite you to suck my dick till you choke. Deep throat, pow pow, got your bitch in my scope. Everyone that I'm seeing is looking pussy as fuck. Go and cry about shit without even looking it up. So I'd like to thank my bullies all for making me tough, because it's looking like y'all ain't get bullied enough. Yeah, I came to drop bombs like Flex and I'm gone, I'm aura. So try not to be so sensitive, y'all. If I'm not pissing you off, then I'm pissing you on. If you're not triggered at all, then I'm spitting it wrong. Because I came to drop bombs like Flex and I'm gone, I'm aura. So try not to be so sensitive, y'all. If I'm not pissing you off, then I'm pissing you on. If you're not triggered at all, then I'm spitting it wrong. Easy does it, Webby, try to keep that temper in check. I'm going off like Terminator in the metal detector. Hit him with the blur like my memory gets from blowing benzos while I'm drinking. Yeah, I tend to forget, a devil's reject. Ever since a kid I've been a loser, but I dealt with it. It's called developing a sense of humor. Learn to laugh a little bit, this shit is good for your health. If you can't take a joke, you need to take a look at yourself. Shit, if I didn't have the haters, then I would probably withdraw. Shit, dog, honestly, I would probably miss y'all. Haters, really please, promise me you'll never quit, y'all. Here, I'll make fun of me with y'all. Here's my impression of Webby, no one's doper than me. I got the hairline of someone that's 10 years older than me. Sitting dissing politicians like I'm fucking sport fishing. Say I fucked their wives and daughters when I obviously didn't. And I'm pale year round, summertime or deep winter. And I chew with my mouth open when I eat dinner. My liver has put up with plenty of cheap liquor and more drugs in a lifetime than Keith Richards. I used to work out, shit, I really was buff. Then I stopped started working out. Now I'm skinny as fuck, like so skinny. When the wind blows hard, I lose balance. So skinny, looking like I won a tapeworm challenge. It ain't that hard to laugh a bit at your own expense. Fucking just relax and shit. Smoke a joint, eat a Xanax, you bitch. This uptight bullshit's what I've had it with. If you're still mad after what you've listened to, then that's just a bitch in you. Suck a dick or two, ain't no fixing you. Fake woke can't take a gay joke. People that I'm spitting to, I am here to trigger you.
Yeah, I came to drop bombs like Flex and I'm gone, I'm all raw. So try not to be so sensitive, y'all. If I'm not pissing you off, then I'm pissing you on. If you're not triggered at all, then I'm spitting it wrong.
Fucking pussy.
Trigger!
Forget about it, Frankie.
The world of science cares about you. Eureka! We found it. With the tools of science, we have invented, yes, hand sanitizer. But not just any hand sanitizer. This hand sanitizer was developed and approved by the Dark One himself. Here are a few of the things our product can bring you.
You slept. Warning, the self-destruct system has been activated. Option to override self-destruct expires in 10 minutes.
Listen, Rogie, I think it's about time we spoke that godly shit. Maybe interest some folk, or maybe not. Listen, command the room when I'm stepping in. A giant over next to kin is a Nephilim, or the Nephilim, something you've never seen. Like Adam and Eve, no leaves, Harold pressing jeans. What? I represent the bread and beans, still building halfway up on the mezzanine. Dare to dream, prime Pablo running Medellin. Shave also from my product, my ass is fiends. Yeah, with that I came cause I'm more than able. Did Jesus tread on the water when my thoughts enabled? And when I'm talking my rhymes, divine course through my spine. Miracles occur, turning water to wine. I flock the sheep, receive messages like Moses did at a precipice. And now until I exit this, I'll bless with rhetoric, give light like God in Genesis, removing pain and pestilence. Nostalgia make your reminisce.
I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. The devil's trying to break me down. I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. To right my wrong. I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. when my feet get weary. I walk through the valley of the shadow. With death is
magnificent space dweller, pinpoint the vital nerve, white lotus, guillotine blade. I smoke island herb, drop a brick on your fitted and tilt your whole way of living. Victorious vision, undetected hypnotism, $1,000 ounce mountain jumpsuit, all terrain, glaciers and altitude. This is how you jump through. Legend on the pop up. Don't get shot, cause you know the guy got nuts to open your top. Take a number with all the other bitter backbiters. Johnny come latelys who hate me because I'm brighter. For all the spades in my deck of cards, eat it like a broke nigga staring at a necklace hard. This the type of shit to get me charged. To make a pilgrim wanna invest 50 large, my shit's retard. Frankenstein rhyme, electrical volts. PA, you know the MO, the message is post. Toast.
Godly, time to listen up and hear the God speak. Move alone, don't need a boss. Strike you down, but I like that if you cross me. When you cross streets, don't believe it, they just warns me. Even when the dark was upon me, you're more ungodly. I kept faith, remain godly. If we don't remove evil, the cloud swarms me. Could be costly, swap the boss, I'll just be marked with peace.
I walk through the valley of the shadow with death. The devil's trying to break me down. I walk through the valley of the shadow with death. To right my wrong. I walk through the valley of the shadow with death. When my feet get weary, I walk through the valley of the shadow. Shadow with death is.
Stop knocking at my. Stop knocking at my. Stop knocking at my door.
Tech teams run on Notion. It's a
chase the high until it fades. Better pace myself, push my limits every day, till I break myself. My time is on the way. Better brace myself, cause if I didn't give the shit my all, I swear to God I couldn't face myself. I've been telling these stories about my life. My life. Out around the campfire all night. Out around the campfire all night. Just trying to find my way through the moonlight. I'm just trying to find a way. I'm just trying to hide my pain as I hydroplane till my tires strain. In the left lane with a depressed brain, calling my doctor up, hoping my meds came. Another panic attack, feeling my chest tight, can't even see the road, losing my headlights. I know I gotta keep on pushing through it, and my therapy is making music. Without it, I think I would lose it. So gather round, listen up, cause what you know is not enough. Grab a blunt, fill your cup, let me tell you something. Till the campfire's out, telling stories till the campfire's out. Light the mess into the kerosene, show what life is like behind the scenes. Put my soul up on the page as I judge myself, cigarettes and cocaine. I don't trust myself, drinking whiskey for the pain, and a blunt might help. Lacking self-respect with all the love I get, why can't I find a way to love myself? Been telling my stories to anyone listening. Better listen. I've done so much, but still I feel so insignificant, yeah. Been battling all these demons ever since my christening. Go to war with all these demons, but still I'm here and breathing, trying to find a reason why I'm breaking even. I should have more by now from all these tours and crowds, but it's just me and this bottle, so I'm about to pour it down. Fire gon' scorch the ground while I be telling my tales. Follow a treacherous trail, but in the end I'll prevail. I know gotta keep on pushing through it. And my therapy is making music. Without it, I think I would lose it. So gather round, listen up. 'Cause what you know is not enough. Grab a blunt, fill your cup. Let me tell you something.
Till the campfire's out, telling stories till the campfire's out.
Light the mess until the kerosene. Show what life is like behind the scenes. I deal with afflictions by willingly filling prescriptions. I live with conditions that really don't fit the descriptions. My grit and convictions, the reason I'm still in existence. My will and ambitions, the reason I'm still in the business. Still, I just wish I could turn off the shit in my brain. The positive and all the negative, living the yin and the yang. I'm still insecure even when they be telling me, Webby, you killing the game. I feel like I'm still in the rain. I wait for these feelings to change. Fifth of the Jameson, I'll sip it away. Just give me whatever, I don't wanna deal with this pain. Simple and plain, I don't wanna bitch and complain. My life really isn't so bad, I'm making a living. It's strange that I'm even feeling this way. I gotta be tough for the fans, I gotta be tough on my team, I gotta be tough on my fam. People are counting on me, and I cannot fuck up the plan. Just give me a bottle, I'm fine, I'll bottle it up in advance. Don't stop and check in on myself, I just keep on moving ahead. My wounds never heal completely, no time for the bruises demand. I push it all down like society says I should do as a man. Don't know how to talk about it, but when written in music I can. This is the way I get through it, this music is all that I got. On top of that, I run a business, I need to be calling the shots. With all the pressure of debt, mixed with the pressure of life. Got all this pressure that's pressing me, feel like my head's in a vice. I tell myself every night, I gotta keep on pushing through it. And my therapy is making music. Without it, I think I would lose it. So gather round. Gather round, listen up. 'Cause what you know is not enough. Grab a blunt, fill your cup. Let me tell you something.
Till the campfire's out, telling stories till the campfire's out.
Light the mess until the kerosene. Show what life is like behind the scenes.
I see some fucked up things. Go to sleep. I'm awake. Wake up. Go to sleep. Can't tell the difference between the two. Wake up.
The devil, here he comes, lurking in the drums, working with the music, he's a serpent with his tongue. Snake up in the grass, who's as merciless as I am, none, nobody else, no one. Percocets and rum, circle him and run. The lion's out his cage and the circus isn't done. It's only just begun, I'm in a dark place. There's something in my blood is making my heart race. I think I'm going crazy, keep thinking people wanna grave me, body me, probably me. This insanity is gonna swallow me, forget it, you don't understand, man, you don't follow me. Some people wanna see me dead, that's why I keep a 45 under my bed. There's no sun, just rain and thunder instead. Look what this sick world has done to my head. Do you see what I see when you go to sleep? Devils in your head, angels underneath the sheets. Voices of apocalypse entangled in your speech. There's a war, ain't nobody angling for peace. Do you hear what I hear when you go to sleep? Devils in your head, angels underneath the sheets. Voices of apocalypse entangled in your speech. There's a war, ain't nobody angling for peace. But Burgundy and Kami, murdered by your mommy. 500 for the suction up in her dirty punani. Whole world lost away, 30 tsunamis. Buildings knocked from the force of 32 armies. Apocalypse is coming, rocket ships are humming. Gangsta motherfuckers who are popping clips and gunning. Crackheads rolling on you, get your pocketbooks and run them. So are we to believe that this Jesus is coming? The people want religion, their religion's money. It isn't funny, like it got me sick to my tummy. Dunny, look around, don't be a dummy. Probably never see it if you don't see it from me. Some believe we all believe. Yeah, this verse is a rain, cause it's bad every day, but it's worse in the night. That's why I stay high and I curse in the mics. Cause death is the only thing certain in life. Do you see what I see when you go to sleep? Devils in your head, angels underneath the sheets. Voices of apocalypse entangled in your speech. There's a war, ain't nobody angling for peace. Do you hear what I hear when you you go to sleep. Devils in your head, angels underneath the streets. Voices of apocalypse entangled in your speech. There's a war, ain't nobody angling for peace. Do you see what I see when you go to sleep? Devils in your head, angels underneath the sheets. Voices of apocalypse entangled in your speech. There's a war, ain't nobody angling for peace. Do you hear what I hear when you go to sleep? Devils in your head, angels underneath the sheets. Voices of apocalypse entangled in your speech. There's a war, ain't nobody angling for peace.
We back. Thought it was over, stupid? Never. Twinning.
You're always fucking late. You're late for your own fucking funeral.
King of the projects, he broke the walls down. His grip was both apartments. Double living rooms, shining under both couches. Schwarzenegger been dead, but sexual crazy forever. A studded glove made of Mediterranean leather. Bitches in every bed. Incidents involve a system rhymes. Kitchen knives, slime, get your bitch in line. Make a shit loud enough and like a savage does. Walk up to the biggest bing bong, bing, stab him up. When guns blast, blood splash, ass the front. The plug had a mustache like Captain Crunch. Young Pesci Pompadour, El Mágico with the cowboy hat like Pablo War. Speak across the street, coca products and tokenomics, so bionic. It's ultrasonic, how I smoke the chronic. Pistolero, call me Billy Bolero. Barrel wrapped in aluminum foil like a meatball hero. Oh, you better smarten up, what you know's not enough. Bottom up, saw the shot in your half, shot him up. You better smarten up, what you know's not enough. Line him up, pour the body and laugh, you out of luck. You better smarten up, what you know's not enough. Bottom up, saw the shot in your half, shot him up. Better smarten up, what you know's not enough. Line him up, pour the body and laugh, you out of luck.
Fucking shitting me? Yeah, we back. Big Brooklyn shit, y'all. Gorilla Twinzitos. Bing bong. Yow, yow, yow. Don't ever in your life disrespect me. I'm on Jamaica Bay getting brain riding jet skis. Paper coming hefty. Keep my money in my right pocket cause the devil was a lefty. See, and if I was you, I wouldn't trust me. Catholic school uniforms, I rock the husky. Shorty, you kinda dusty. I know if we fuck, that pussy musty. It must be. I know your mother, she a custody. Gave her credit when she was sick and now she loved me. Now we getting awards and setting up tours. My Avarex in 98 was better than yours, that's a fact of it. Took it back and put the battery. Walking up and down Mermaid, who wanna battle me? You don't know no rap as hard as us. Put the barrel to your forehead, you better smarten up. Know the fucking vibes. Gorilla Twins is back. Like we never left, stupid. Brooklyn. Yo, Bill, let's get it.
Yeah. Phil House. Let's go.
They don't call it work for nothing. You see that shit and wanna be it, but couldn't cook up the mustard. Stupid little fucker. Everybody wanna rap now, but jump shit when they get bad, then they fall back to the bag room. Transmit for groupies, you ain't built for this kid, you pussy. I pick them off like Billy Zane, fuck your bitch like Billie Jean. Till she claims she caught my seed and leave your ass for bigger things. That fat lady belt in front of the balcony. It's over for any clown that wanna challenge me. Every line's another Calvary, followed up with powder cakes. Hang them in my gallery, posterized like out in history. Eat foods like calories, vagabonds, I'm Jack the Ripper. You love that trick, dog, and I barely tip her. Fuck around and play the skipper. Fickle frauds can kiss the zipper. Skip around with a stick so big from home plate I can hit the pitcher. Every single day I'm on my grind on the business end. Every other day you in the line like you killing shit. Then there come a day when I put you out your misery. Go on, catch that fade, motherfucker. Think I'm playing with you, yeah, they acting gay for attention, that's ridiculous. You look like a lady with that choker chain like he a stripper. I'm just a chill with the aristocrats. Cop a deal from Toss and Salad, pop a pill and rocks and blasts is going down like Richie Valens. I can stand on my own too, the whole truth, fuck you, baby. Yeah. And ain't shit that you gon' do, your whole crew can catch that facelift. I tell them like, move, you better back off. Bitch, we some inglorious bastards. The faculty charged up an assault and battery with battering rams strapped to cannons that'll reach North Korea.
I am live. I hear someone coughing outside my house. Someone smoking weed outside my house. How we doing tonight? Who do we got here? Let's see what's going on. Oh, private chat up. All right. Well, internet. All right. Well, Singe Man was here, but his internet sucked, and he went to sleep on the late night.
You slept. Warning, the self-destruct system has been activated. Option to override self-destruct expires in 10 minutes.
What's going on? Okay, let's give the chat a shout out. Even though it says I only have 4 people watching, I don't believe it. Because we have Nightbot watching. That's 1 person. We have me. That's 2 people. Bobby Molly. What's up? Dana. What's up? Thanks for the support. Drew Duncan. What's up? Thanks for being here. Forever Love. So that's like 7 people already, I think. I counted. I don't know. I'm not really good at math. Brian's here. What's up, man? We have Bearsworth was here, or is maybe still here. We have Voynick. Did I pronounce it right? I'm finally getting things right. Drew Duncan. Did I say him? Machine Head. What's up? Anyone else? Do I see? If I didn't say you, it's because it just ain't showing up on my computer. A puffin on the straw nana. I just opened it. It's a gram. It tastes so good, I might just smoke the whole thing, like, tonight. Like, yeah. Love it. That's smooth. So anyway, I don't know. I just don't know. No, actually, I do know. I do know. Nancy, what happened to Singe, man? All right, you ready? So we got all right. Oh, shit. All right, I have something I want to get into that I've been wanting to talk about. Okay, so there's a lot of people that are trying to debunk the mud flood by trying to debunk the meltology, right? Which a lot of people don't understand the difference. Like, don't just lump me in with the meltologists, okay? Like, I look at meltology. It's interesting. I'm not a meltologist, though. My channel is called Boston Ray Mudflood Adventures, not Boston Ray Meltology Shack. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't understand the difference between meltology and the mudflood. And I'm not saying anything bad about meltology. I mean, I like it. I enjoy it. Shout out to Jen. I love all them over there. Spartan Red, everybody. They're doing good research. Shampoo. I just, I don't know. All right, so this is the difference. Okay, the mud flood was a flood. I think the mud flood was the great flood, and a lot of the floods that they talk about that happen in scriptures and biblical texts and all kinds of everything. All right, ancient texts throughout the world. Right, they talk about great floods. Mud floods, for me, are provable because it happens. It still happens now. I've shown it in California. You can see it happening, in real life still today. Now, I've been getting a lot of shit from the globe trolls. The globe trolls are trying to debunk the mud flood now. Because they were, over on BitChute. You know what I mean? They suck. But it's like they didn't understand. They were talking shit about me about flat Earth, and I was like, listen, I already know that the Earth is flat. I'm beyond that. I'm beyond the Earth being flat. Like, I know it's flat. I've proven it a million different ways to myself. I could sit here all night and tell you, the Earth is flat this way, the Earth is flat that way, the Earth is flat the other way. Hey, it's flat, all right, we get it. All right, so I moved on. Mud flood, so these globe trolls are still like, trying to debunk me on the flat Earth, and I'm like, listen, why don't you guys start debunking the mud flood? Because we need more mud flood trolls. Honestly, we need you guys. What's going on with the mud flood trolls? We don't have any mud flood trolls. You know what I'm saying? We need them. So they were like, oh, if you want to keep looking at fossils of like mud fossils, that's not what I do. You know what I'm saying? That might be part of the ancient trees and mud fossils. That's not. Have you guys seen me cover any ancient trees or mud fossils? Not much, right? Maybe a little bit, but not much, right? Because that's not what I do. That's not the type of research my mud flood research is. I go out and I look at buildings that are outside that I can touch with my hand, that are in front of my face, right? And I look at how low they go under the fucking ground. And I film what kind of tech they had on the roof and what's left. And then I look up the building, and the buildings, they have longer lives than us. The buildings were here before we were born. The buildings will be here after we die. There's a lot of fucking buildings everywhere, all over the place, right? Old ones, new ones, friggin' buried ones, subways, right? And they all have histories, right? But all right, a human history, when you're born, you get a birth certificate, they keep your medical record, you have your your criminal Corey report, God forbid if you get arrested, your school records, like whatever you leave behind in your life, that's what people could look up about you, you know, like your addresses, things like that. Like when you pass away, you know, people ever want to look into your life, they might be able to find like 100 years, maybe 70 years worth of stuff, maybe 50, 60. People only live until like 30, 40 now, you know? So like, you know, there's not much history when you look up a person. But when you look up a building, you can find like thousands of years worth of history sometimes, but usually it only goes back about 500 years and then it cuts off. But they couldn't cover up all of the history for all of the buildings before we figured it out. You know what I'm saying? And that's the mud flood research I do. It's real research. It's not bullshit. You can look up the fake narrative history of the building, and there's some truth. You got to look for truth in between the lines, you know? And then there's also like real evidence of underground, you know, like pavement glass to shine light under the ground, because there was rooms under the ground. Like there's real mud flood evidence. Now, I know people in the mud flood community.
Serve, bow wow mud, he's my mighty puppy. Sir bow wow mud, he's my mighty puppy. Sir bow wow mud, he's my mighty puppy. Sir bow wow mud.
And like, you know, like they felt like the meltologists, not all of them, but the ones at the top, the ones that are in charge of it, were doing it on purpose to discredit the mud flood. That's how I didn't feel that way, but that's how they felt. And they were really passionate about it. And that's how they really, you know, you can't control how someone else feels. So in a way, it's kind of coming true because, you know, everybody's attacking meltology and they're calling it mud flood. You know what I mean? So I can see it both ways, but what I want to do is present some real mud flood evidence tonight. Mud flood. Now, I don't know about meltology. I'm not saying it's real. I'm not saying it's fake. I don't care. Like, it's not my thing. It's not my cup of tea right now. But I've been looking, you know, for the best mud flood evidence, and this is pretty good. music to that shit. Hold on a sec. I didn't realize it was just music. Hold on a sec. I'll play my own music to that shit. Let me see. All right. All right. Here we go. This one's good. If he's gonna play, let's see.
The Philadelphia 76ers, Maurice Cheek, quiet, knows they're going to be the one team, folks.
Now it's the walk-ons and the laptop's gone. ECO record is fucking awesome. Dissect playbooks, my D is in a rage. Hi, Ma. With this first law to be raw at all costs. Since 1984, we've been a lost cause. High and mighty rulers, true old schoolers. It's not wise to leave the mic unattended, cause I say E has arrived. Fool, you a pupil, call me sensei. Greatest game amongst boys like Danny and Monte. Mighty evolve as the record revolve.
Can't understand why you got it wrong.
With this studio gear, I was born to use it on some 89 shit. The little nugs getting plucked like a violin. I'm not getting high again. Let me try again. And while we rest, for Philly is a city, cause I no shame, build no pity. It's the highest man, strike a pose myself like man, the fan squeamish like Joe Dodds, man.
Left off yesterday with our last show about
EC Clan.
About Tartaria and about mudflood. And we're gonna give you a little something different for today about the red brick makers. Was Tartaria the origin of red brick making? Was the Tartarians the first brick builders? And if I'm going to kind of talk about that and kind of go over some of those facts and to kind of show that it had
the hot whole feet for the Glock, so creep. Your might as well be Amish, you ain't got no heat. Plus, you ain't shit, never was shit, never will be.
We'll let him talk.
To be a worldwide civilization for this type of architecture that's all over the world, and this type of brick making, that the ancients had to be far more advanced than academia wanted them to be.
Look at that.
Kind of go over that.
What the fuck happened?
What's going on, Philip? How's everything been, man?
Yeah, pretty fine.
That's unacceptable.
New Year's, you know. So brick making is a huge topic. We have so many constructions made of bricks. First of all,
I have no idea, Drew Duncan. Who this guy?
We have bridges.
Who is he?
We have tunnels, which are underground, and we have starfolds, right? So huge amount of bricks were used, and perhaps they needed a production units, or mobile production units, whatever you call them, to pull this or that production unit towards the construction site and establish the continuous production, because they didn't have all that machinery as
Tartaria, mudflood,
right?
Hidden history on artifact.
Inofficial theory.
Supposedly, right? I mean, we don't know.
So I think we should, first check the official theory, and the first machine that was made in 19th century. In fact, 1855, I guess, something like this. It was made in England. It could produce 25,000 bricks daily, with the minimum manual control. So it's a huge number. It's a huge number, right? But what does it mean? It means that you not only make a form of a brick, and you have to make all the process. It's not forming, it's drying, it's continuous, slow warming.
Yes.
With chemical reactions made of smoke sometimes, because smoke pulling out all this different stuff that is not wanted in the bricks, and dries it, takes all the moisture that is left from the drying, and then you do the third step, which is called firing, or burning the bricks. And it's supposed to be like a couple of days. So I'm not quite sure what they mean about 25,000 per day. So maybe it's an average when you like have a process timeline like a month or something like this. So they could be producing 25,000 per day, multiplying on 30 days. So that could be just a number of let's see what it's going to be.
It's sort of like wine, you know what I mean? They've been doing it for a long time. They already got bricks already stocked.
It's just the one machine, right?
They got bricks off the yin yang.
To produce that machine, you also have to do something, right? You also have to make metal, all these lines, because I'll show some pictures. You have to understand that. Let me just try to screen share what I found.
Absolutely.
So this first page is about the history of the brick and some types of the brick. So it's like it was well known before the Christ era. So it's like huge periods of time that they showing us. But let's just scroll closer to the industrial era, because the previous era is not really. It could be anything, because they can tell us anything. Industrial era is the era of 19th century, so it's what I'm trying to research. So as I said, in 1855 they produced the first machine, and it was capable of producing 25,000 bricks per day with minimal supervision. And then some company patented it, and even a guy in New York patented it in 1852. I don't know how it's that he patented it 3 years before the guy was inventing the actually not inventing, making the first machine, because inventing could be inventing in a small size, right, and making machinery and production line could be in huge sizes, and so it took some years for them to do them to produce those machinery. So. And this is where the official science says they started all this stuff. So before that, it looks kind of like this. So it just containing the clay in some forms and forming the bricks and stacking them into the huge stacks, or whatever you call them, and sometimes with horses, sometimes without the horses. You can find those pictures in Wikipedia's or in Google images. So sometimes it's not that very hard to imagine how they did it. But when you look at those huge machinery,
what is that? What is that doing?
Just imagine how much metal and resources you have to put in this machine, right? And this machine is very highly technological, in fact.
Yeah, can I ask you a question? Look how big that is. Is that something that we just took over from
once in my house by myself,
technology from the giants, from the bigger people that we coexisted with?
No blueprints.
Is that a possibility? Did we get this kind of
from looking at it,
technology from the giants?
I think it's just mechanical technology, and mechanical technology is an engineering knowledge, right? So who said there were no engineers?
Right.
So engineers always inventing stuff. So I think it's not very hard to imagine how to do this, but to do something like this, you have to pick all the chances, all the possible chances, and create exactly this type of construction, right? That gonna be working exactly this type of way that you want. So you're supposed to know the recipe of what you know, and what you know how to produce the brick. So we had some period of time of a manual production. So they probably knew all the technical qualities of the brick, and they knew how exactly manipulate them during the production. So to make the production cheaper, in fact, and to make it faster.
Right.
So
right.
When we talk about manual production like this is not great amount of bricks. It's just maybe to build a small town, right? So not. Right. It's possible, of course, and they did it, and they actually can perform this brick production right now, because everybody can make a form out of wooden stuff, and press the.
You know what I found too, Philip, or me. Found out doing my research that you can actually make this stuff on site. So, say for instance, like you're building a building, like the Tower of Babel, you can actually just make bricks right on site. You don't even have to transport these things.
Bricks.
Yes, because the mud was everywhere, and the clay was 90% of the mud, so it was underneath their feet. So that's why bricks were so easily to make a mobile production near the house of the construction or the whatever construction site you were doing. You just making this mobile
right out of the dirt,
mobile production, and just support and supply the demand of the bricks on the construction site.
Making the bricks right out of the mud,
and that's it. But
boom, baby.
The problem is that the bricks have a quality.
Yeah,
and those bricks are still standing.
That shit.
And sometimes
these ain't no
quality
bricks,
of the bricks looks to be more, or at least not less efficient than we have today. And that's why I've been talking about the industrial era, not the manual production, because you cannot have the manual production to, for example, speed up the construction. Manual production is a slow, step-by-step production.
You can't.
It's just a month or something like this to make a full cycle and create this amount of bricks that they showed here. It's not a one-day production. It's just about like a couple of weeks, right? This is only one step. This is the step of drying and maybe second one, smoking.
Eating them up, right?
Yeah, heat them. This is firehouses. Yeah, so they did those stacks in the form of a house, and then burned all this brick house around, and it was heating up for a couple of days and reaching the temperature of 2000 Celsius, something like this, and then it was drying and cooling down for a couple of days after all this fire stopped. So it was a very, very efficient way, but it's a long method, and you cannot just do it in a production rate like you do today. So
you need adult supervision.
That's why I started talking about the industrial era, because manual production is okay. I can handle it, and I probably would imagine how they did it in small cities, small towns. But how did they do it in the cities like Chicago, like Moscow, like St. Petersburg, whatever, the biggest brick towers, for example, in Germany, right? How did they do something like this with the manual production
How?
of
How did
bricks.
they do it?
Right.
We don't know because it's impossible, I think, to imagine such amount of manual brick production and the terms, the period of time. Who would pay so much people money? And I don't know. It's so expensive, I think, to have a manual production. So that's why they started to make all these machineries to get it cheaper and to start to sell those machines to people that were previously doing it manually. And then they bought all this machinery. They forgot how to do how to do it faster in manual way, and they started to lean towards the machinery and the manufacturing way. And I think they were able to save some money. That's why they were, addicted to the new methods, and that's how it was changing in the period of 19th century. So people started to calculate the money, started to cut the costs of production, and of course it could be affecting the quality of the brick. But no, bricks were still perfect, as manual as the production bricks, as the machinery production bricks also have the same good, decent quality, and they still hang on, and all those buildings are still there. You can go and check any of those bricks and crash test it with the modern brick, and you can see that perhaps it plus minus the same, and the size of those bricks is pretty much the same. The quality of cutting and drilling the bricks is pretty much the same, but that brick is 200 years old, and you are have the modern brick, which is like brand new, right? And so it's pretty much the same. So I don't know how to believe this all this BS story. I think these pictures could be set up and for us to think that it was easy. So they made some type of picturing those people and saying, yes, this is manual production, and they said, oh, this is the way they did it in an industrial way, and that's what they started to do to create those machinery things like this, right?
Right.
And then they ended up here, and let's see. Yeah, they don't have any more machines. So this is what they have. All of this is what they have. They don't have nothing else, only this type of thing. And this is not even a picture. This is not a photo picture. It's just a sketch, as you can see. So
right.
How can they prove that they had this type of machinery effectively working and producing 25,000 bricks? I don't know. This is just impossible, I think, to believe.
25,000 bricks is a lot, but if you had a couple of places, I mean, these guys were, from all the bricks and all the architecture left behind, it looks like these guys were pumping these bricks out, like on a level that's incomprehensible.
No, I mean, you have to build a factory. Just think about the factory, right?
Yeah.
It's a huge factory. How much bricks do you need to build this factory? How many years do you have to build this factory? You're an investor. You invest in the money to earn the money, not to spend the money, right? So you have like 5 to 10 years from the start of building this factory, and you want your masons who are building, your engineers and construction workers to build it faster. That's why you have to supply them with bricks. You can't wait for the manual production.
You know what, Phil? I don't know, man. These, from the looks of this architecture and this type of architecture, these ancients, they took a lot of time and did whatever they could to build these beautiful feats of engineering, these bricks. The way they built these bricks and just marvelous masterpieces.
Yeah, you're talking about the brick design, right?
Yeah, it seems like they didn't care about how much money they spent. And I think the reason why is because they understood that these structures wasn't just structures. They were just, they emitted sound frequency. I just think they just had a better understanding of buildings than we could ever imagine. You know what I mean? That's why. And then until something happened where, it was about how much money, and how much money could we cost, and how fast we can make this stuff. Then that all changed because I guess people, after the reset, people just lost the knowledge and just lost the real true history of how we build things.
The recipe was there, and they knew it, and this is how they did it manually. And so they just needed to make some production line to do this. They did it. They said, "This is the line. Look at this," and it was 25,000 bricks per day. So I mean, you are not building something splendid. I mean, I'm talking about factories. How many factories were built in 19th century?
Yeah, supposedly everything was built in the 19th century.
All the factories were built in the 19th century. They all made of bricks. I'm not talking about houses of particular esquire or landlord. I'm talking about the factories. Just imagine how tall are those buildings? How huge?
Those expositions. I mean, those exposition buildings.
I'm not talking about the design, crazy design. There were perhaps no crazy design there, so it was just the usual design, modest design. The cheapest design, but still it had something very splendid, and you can watch it on each and every building. Some differences. There are very good hints. Very good evidence of what they did. They did with their souls, and they really liked their job, and they did it. What you telling me? They tried to decorate even in a cheap way, because they had a better attitude towards the brickwork, and this was the culture, and this was probably what they call the experience, the practice. So they had it. And that's why probably they were not in a hurry, as what you say, but they were actually doing it faster than you think, because they didn't have weather, something depending on the weather, because they didn't care if it's raining or snowing. So they had to heat up the place. How do you heat up the place? You have to do the temperature to produce 25,000 bricks per day. You have to keep the temperature always at the same rate, right? You have the same recipe of the clay, because if you adjusted your production to the certain cycle, you have to understand that it was adjusted according to the solution of the clay, or quality of the clay that you have. If you have some different quality, just different components in the clay, maybe it's not that yellow, it's maybe redder, or maybe it's like more dry clay or something else. You have to change the production. So the clay that you get as a supply for your brick production supposed to be the same each and every time. How can you have it? You have to do it in the same place. But where can you find the same place for huge construction? Same mine, same quarry. It's impossible. So you have to move from different supplies, mix it. Each and every supply route. You have different adjustments for different production lines.
In all of this, it just all sounds like Freemasonry to me. What do you guys think?
And this is all complex.
I'm not saying them. I'm saying, like, how do you move this much dirt to this much places? How do you build this with that? How do you build this many blocks out of that with this many people and this population and that? I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot. I know. It's a lot. It's a lot of research. It's a lot of new information. A lot of discernment you need to do. For some people, it's just too much. They just like fuck it. Like, I don't even want to look at it because some of it, some mudflood channels are like complete bullshit. And then there's other ones that do real research like this that actually show you stuff.
Complex, I cannot just explain it like this.
So let me ask you a question: are you leaning towards them? I mean, these places. I mean, it would make sense that that had big factories. They were making these bricks, and they were also transporting these bricks to their destinations. Is that what you're saying that could have happened, or?
No.
So this is what I wanted to explain, and I want to make it clear. So the meltologists believe that the fire already happened, that the judgment of fire came, and everything melted, and we're in the little season. A lot of them. I'm not saying they all believe that, but that's what I'm getting from what I've picked up. And like me, the mudflood people, it's like I believe like the earth got flooded, and like the Great Flood, and God put the rainbow in the sky to promise that he wasn't going to flood the earth again, and that the judgment of fire is still coming. I'm not sure if the judgment of fire already came yet. I'm looking into it. So like there is a difference between meltology and mudflood is what I'm trying
No.
Is what I'm trying to say. And for people to say like, oh, you mudflood people are stupid because of what the meltologists are saying. I don't know. It's like I'm trying to look at real research. That's all. I just want to find the truth of the matter. And I'm going to let them all bicker it out. And when they come to a conclusion, they'll let me know. I'm sure they will. I'll be the first one on the list. And when they let me know what they all decide, then I'll follow suit. But until then, I'm going to keep digging for the truth on my own.
I'm just trying to question the official theory.
Okay, gotcha. Absolutely.
Just how can you make it 25,000 per day?
Right.
You cannot do it if you don't have first the same quality of clay each and every day. The constant heating capability. So you have to have like a coal supply and
Hi, Trisha.
permanent heating of some stove or heating device that you use for your drying procedures and all this.
No, Forever Love, I will follow no man.
Stuff and firing procedures. So the clay becomes ceramics only at some certain temperature, and you have to keep this temperature forever if you have a production line. So it's like eternal cycle.
Yeah, we got into brick making. It's just it's interesting.
You cannot, shut down your stove. If you shut it down for a day or two, you lose a month because stove gets heating not for a day, it gets heating for a week or something like this, and it's cooling down also a week or maybe two. So It's just a huge problem to keep it all in the same rate. Of course, it has to be close to the construction site. So they sold all those machines to the brick production units, and they were hired perhaps to supply the construction sites.
Right.
And what I'm saying is it was easy to buy this old machine, first machine that ever were invented.
Yes. Okay. We'll come back to that. I have something else.
Yeah, just to start, I just like to tell that I was watching you since maybe 2012, 2013.
Okay.
So then I had a little pause, like for 2 years, because I was also working for YouTube channels. I was managing YouTube channels in Russia.
Oh, okay.
One was a very big political channel. I started it with 30,000 subscribers and
What's
pushed
up,
it
Nova?
up to 150. Then I quit that job and started my own channel here on YouTube. And so now I have like a network of channels which I possess and manage and help people to promote them. So
nice.
It's like my job. So
yeah.
I'm
Was it like?
totally.
Was it a big news station like Первый Канал or Vremya?
No. Just a small Russian pro government, I would say.
They're all pro government.
Not all, but some.
Majority,
It was type of independent, but really it was pro government. So it was pretending independent. But just help me out to understand all these YouTube features and so on. So people were paying pretty good money. So I decided to quit because we were, in different type of thinking of life and things. I was like pretty moderate in politics. They were too patriotic for me. And all I saw that all these topic books that were sent from administration of like a white crow in all these.
Happened.
Let's go back a little.
Because during the Armenian earthquake in 8.
And outs of San Francisco, the history with the earthquakes. I've lived through earthquakes. The big one in 1989. And all these events that happened. So I mean, I know how it is to be in bed at night and be awakened by an earthquake. It's not a good feeling. You're running out of the house. You don't know if the house is going to collapse on you. It's not an easy feeling at all.
Yeah, sure. We had this, information also going on since the Soviet Union fall about the seismic weapons that the Soviet Union was possessing already in the 80s. And so there was like a kind of a rumor or conspiracy theory, whatever you call it, that they planted it in Caucasus during the Armenian earthquake in 1988, I believe, 89. So it was quite a big one. It shake all Caucasus and people were devastated. So I kind of believe that they have this weapon. Why not?
I agree. I'll tell you why, and I wish I would have the video prepared, but since you bring this up, this topic, the 89 earthquake happened, I believe it was 5:04 Pacific time, San Francisco time. And what I remember is the baseball player number 33, Jose Canseco. They showed a replay from the previous game, the highlights, because it's a 7-game series. They're showing the previous game, and then all of a sudden they show him in the replay from the previous game crossing the home plate he's wearing number 33. Right when he's crossing the plate, they zoom in on him, and that's when the camera started to fizzle.
50-foot section, you see down there below the two cars that were on the upper deck. I need an ambulance. Hold on, I'll transfer you.
Prepare yourselves. Shut off the gas. Shut off electricity. Store water in your bathtub. Don't expect.
Obviously, in the city of San Francisco, again, as we take a look at that appears to be what would be the Marina District.
The entire upper deck of the Cypress structure.
There was no indication of a shake. There was just the initial boom, and everything went.
He was thrown to his right, and I was thrown to my left.
Right, exactly when they show the number 33. And anybody can look this up. If you just look up ABC, Wide World of Sports, San Francisco Giants versus Oakland A's.
Running between him and Clark. Flash forward to the bottom of the 4th inning. Dave Parker barely by inches just misses a home run. Candy Maldonado with the hesitation, allowing Jose Canseco to score, and he fails to get Dave Parker at second base. So the Oakland A's take. I'll tell you what, we're having an
And that gets into movies where they give us the truth in movies, lies in the news, where a James Bond movie where they actually talked about using explosives on a fault line to start an earthquake. So this is not far-fetched, because we know how these people operate, where they give us hints in the fiction, in movies and books and any type of entertainment. People think, oh, it doesn't mean anything, but these people don't understand. They control every aspect of our society, and definitely Hollywood.
Put your link in, Nuba.
100%. So
people will sub you.
These are psychopaths that run this world. They love to give us hints, and they put it out there. Nothing's hidden in this world. I said it many times. They put everything out there. We just have to use good discernment and figure it all out.
Yeah, I also was doing a bunch of not debunkings, but decoding. Yeah, and might be interested to you, this information that I found. But anyways, I wanted to start with the reset theory. I don't know if you heard something about that. Maybe somebody told you about some aspects of this stuff that was kind of researched for a couple of years already. And a bunch of people came up with a bunch of information, new facts, and so on. So have you heard about it?
On what exact topic? Are you talking about mud floods?
Well, mud flood is a term for some technology that is related to reset, but
Oh, I didn't hear you say reset. As far as the reset, yes, the mud floods are part of it. But yeah, definitely. Yeah. I had actually a live stream with the man that's really versed in this topic, Martin Leitka, in the UK, and he gave a good demonstration, a lot of photo evidence, what he believes these mud floods are basically resets throughout history, and he showed very solid proof of that. And I know this is something you cover extensively as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I made it a little presentation, so might as well. If you guys wanted to see that information, check out RV Truth channel. You'll find Martin Leitka chat here in a list of videos.
It's a live stream. Yeah, it's a live stream we did actually. It's about 4 or 5 hours long. So if you scroll through the live stream section, it's about, I think, 7 or 8 past live streams. But if you keep scrolling,
somewhere around here.
Yeah, if you go, you'll see him. He's wearing the glasses.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that's the one where he really gets into detail. Like you two are the main guys when it comes to this topic. Definitely on YouTube.
Can you see it?
Yeah, absolutely. I can see that very well.
Okay, so there's plenty of types of resets, and if we can, kind of configure them in 2 parts. First one are artificial, and the others are, looking natural, right? But perhaps not also artificial if you research them a little bit deeper than usual thing. So what is mud flood? Actually, a bunch of evidence of mud flood. You can find these windows that are being excavated during renovations, and you find out that not only windows, but the doors are below the ground. So that kind of made me, for example, research this topic.
Phil, I just want to interrupt you for a second. When you see things like that, people do not question these things. They're brainwashed. They don't want to go there because it's not.
Let me interject real quick, RV Truth and Phil. Whenever you see construction sites like this, and they try to cover them up too, they always put like drapes and things down in front of them. Try to take pictures of what's underneath. That's what the best place to find the evidence is, what's underneath. Not what's on the roof, what's underneath. Thank you, guys.
Back. History books. It's not on TV. It's anything that's out of the spectrum of discussion on national or international news is not to be talked about. And this is obviously stuff that's concealed, and there's no denying it. This photo alone, right here.
I was walking by this house every day. I was walking because I had an office nearby, and I was walking by this house each and every day for like 6 years, and I was seeing only this type of windows that,
But I would tell people out there that are listening in, you cannot be concerned what other people think. You have to go where the evidence leads you, and that's the main thing. And this is, objective evidence that cannot be denied. we're looking at things, very old structure that's underground, and all these buildings. It's just unbelievable. And what I find interesting is instead of destroying it all and starting from scratch, they just build over it and make an excuse of why that's like that. It obviously won't be discussed, like I said, in the mainstream media. It's a topic that's not brought up. But you would think maybe some of these structures, they would have just flattened out, demolished, and restart, but they didn't want to do that. For whatever reason, they didn't want to do that. What's your theory on that?
Yeah, a bunch of information, but everything.
My theory on that is the whole place is set up like a computer board, like a computer grid, and they just build on top of the old grid. Like that's where the power, that's where the energy's at. That's where the computer piece is supposed to go. So they know it, and they just rebuild it like on top of the old grid. Like the whole place is flat. It's completely flat, and it's like a computer board. And every building is like a computer. Not every building, but a lot of the buildings are like computer pieces. Star forts, the pyramids, the State House. Let's see what they say.
Is hidden because there's a lot of brainwashed paradigm that was spread in the science, and so many agents, I would say, that are working in the science for this government and for budgeting and stuff like this. So
yeah, no one's gonna make it on anywhere on top of this world unless you go along and just be a yes man or yes woman. Just say yes to whatever the authorities say.
I'm not a yes man.
If you contradict what they say, you're not going to move up anywhere in this world. You're going to be stuck nowhere and not get anywhere financially, or
like me,
or have anything of high success. And that's
me.
Every respect to people in every aspect of this.
He's talking about me. Yeah,
people in public view in society. You're not going to make it very big.
No,
you're not going to get very far.
No,
if you
I'm
don't
not.
Go along with the program.
I'm not.
Yeah, so
I'm not gonna.
I started,
and I'm not gonna go along with the program. So I'm not. I guess I'm not gonna make it very far. I'm not.
Make my own research, because I was just a big viewer of everybody else who's doing research, and I started, why don't I do just my research? I found a bunch of
quiet down
evidence,
back there.
A bunch of comparison photos which are showing how the building was found by those who found it and filmed it the first, or maybe one of the first persons who filmed it, and how it looks right now.
Jenny, you woke up.
And you see a bunch of excavation was done after it was found, and you can see a bottom of the building or a lower structures. For example, here it was found with the guy sitting and look at in the bottom.
Yeah, with the guy
now
right
it's
there.
Excavated, and it looks like 3-4 meters deeper than it is. So it's like everywhere you find this evidence, and it shows that the period of possible mudflood of 19th century.
And some people might say this looks melted too. That one, this one, melted. But I don't know. I'm not a meltologist. I'm not the one to ask about that.
It was somewhere between 1820, 1840s, something like that. So, and it probably wasn't like a simultaneous event, because you can find this everywhere, but mostly it's in the cities. So that's the problem, because if that would be a simultaneous worldwide something, that it would cover everything, right?
Absolutely.
No, it did. So I found that it targeted the exact cities and the nearby areas, maybe some fortifications, ports, some infrastructure, maybe mining infrastructure or something like this. So, and the scientists came up with the idea that it is all a cultural layer theory. Cultural layer is when certain cultures leave some something in the soil which could be found later, and so it creates some like a pie of layers. And they say they didn't clean up the streets, and the soil was growing, and then it covered the first floor.
Phil, I want to interject here. There's this is a fantastic topic we're on here, because we can go back further. For example, the Temple of Baalbek in Lebanon, where they said the the giants in the the biblical times. They built it with the megalith stones. They were building structures, and then many years later, the Romans came and they put smaller stones on top of the larger stones. Talking about mud floods, and just like the flood, let's explain the Bible about the flooding of the earth, and we see trees standing straight up that they're fossilized on the side of hillsides, mountains, and this is obviously a mud flood as well. So this has happened throughout history, and it's definitely been happening, like you said, the reset. And I don't want to interrupt you too much, but I want to get your theory maybe on a future possible mud flood. What do you think the time frame is between these events?
Well, I think the last one was in the beginning of 19th century, so
not too far.
Probably first half of the 19th century. And I believe it was happening step by step, so it's not like simultaneous, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a technology to capture the area, reset the people, and so on. So we're gonna go over this stuff a little bit further.
Sure.
Let's see. So we find if that was a cultural theory, if it would work, it would work everywhere, right? So we find this, for example, in the islands of what do you call the island? Easter Island, right?
Yes. Where giant sculptures, the giant
sculptures, and no cultural layer at all. So somebody either covered them with the mud, or it was covered by some natural cause.
And Phil, I want to jump in here as well. I know the alignment. I'm not an expert on this subject, but I know there's some type of alignment with all these structures throughout history, and how precise they're located from one to another. I don't remember the exact details, but I remember there's something along those lines where how everything aligned up, and that's something I want to throw in there.
Yeah, for a while, it was a bunch of places where you can find some strange things. Like you excavate in your garden and you find this mosaic, which was covered like 3-4 meters deep of mud, right? And those cases are everywhere. Not only in Turkey, it's in France.
It happened to me one day when I was gardening. You know what I'm saying? It happens it happens all the time, guys.
Or in some cave, even. So why would you want to make a floor of mosaic in the cave, right? So that is ridiculous.
Yeah,
so what
doesn't make sense.
So on some ancient pictures, you find that the place looked different, and it had like a lower infrastructure, some seats or some stands or whatever.
Keep in mind that's not a picture, that's just a painting, but that's the best we get because they didn't have photographs, I guess, back then. Maybe.
Whatever. And look at this modern one. So somebody covered this area and made it flat.
Yeah.
Who did that? Or maybe somebody just, covered it for some purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only explanation, because if we know that they are setting up things, they are staging events, why don't they do it artificially, right, with their own manipulations? And we have this in art depiction also. Somebody was covering it in some arts, in some hidden messages. Like this is a panneau which is called a swimmer, but if you look closely, you can see that he is not alone in this muddy water. And there's a bunch of some faces, some hands, people trying to survive.
There's something like that in Boston.
He's not swimming, he is trying to get out of there.
Pretty creepy though. That face is pretty creepy.
And that sculpture did a lot of creepy sculptures, and she was born right in the period.
It's pretty scary.
Period when all these post-recent times were taking place.
And where was this located? That those sculptures in the
This is in Moscow. This is in Moscow.
Oh, this is Moscow. Wow.
Yeah, on top of the theater entrance.
Okay.
Yeah, this is somewhere in Italy also, as you can see, person trying to get out of the mud. Like they say it's an antique god or something, but
that was actually me one day. I was posing in the mud, and I was like, and this guy was like, hey, I want to make an art depiction of you. And I was like, sure, why not? So just make it look like I have a long beard. And he was like, cool. I signed the deal. He gave me some money. I did it real quick. It took about 3 hours. He was done. Guy was great.
Looks like a Viking almost, a Viking, or maybe obviously a Roman soldier.
Some Greco-Roman mythological
Yeah.
god. Also, we have a bunch of columns where some things is like pouring down below, and they call it the plaque statues or plaque, sculptures, and they also look like all these obelisks, where you can find this in Rome, in Vatican. You can find them in London. You can find them in Washington D.C. All those straight lines, and something is pouring below, and they call it plaque. They call it plaque obelisk, right? But it's a certain bio reset now.
Phil,
Empty cities
as well. I want to interject real quick. Obviously, they're hiding this for reasons. This will, unveil other things, and it'll reveal other secrets of this world. And I this is one thing I find very.
That's exactly right, RV. As soon as I start looking into these mudflood buildings all the time, I find out other things that I learn in between while I'm reading in between the lines. It's crazy about other subjects.
Very interesting from the first presentation I seen on this, and definitely there's something to it. And to me, it's much bigger than we even can imagine. That's underlying all of this. It's going to lead to other truths, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, have you heard about empty cities and
it
a
leads
bunch
to
of
other
photos
truths
of 80s, 60s when you already had these photo techniques where everybody could be filming panoramic photos with pretty high resolution, and you don't find any person on those pictures.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Where is everybody? Why do we have so many pictures of empty cities?
And it looks exactly like what we had like a couple of years ago in 2020, right?
Yeah. And China's known for that as well. They build these structures, and this is maybe off topic, but they build structures and they abandon them, but whatever reason, yeah, that's too much of a too much effort, too much energy, time, and resources to not use it. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we also have, I would some categorize them as destruction resets. It's some resets that happen because of some wars or explosions or set up staged events. So this is like when you have all this architecture in a certain city destroyed and then rebuilt,
Yeah, very interesting. And what's the location of we just saw there?
It's just Germany after World War II, when they completely didn't have any reason to bomb this city because nobody was already messing around on that direction that they were moving from France.
They bombed this city in World War II for no reason. Okay? No reason. Just bombed it. Whole city. There you go.
And they still were bombing the cities and destroying.
Well, we know the world's a stage. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, Phil. We know the world's a stage. So all these governments are all working together, and the populace has no idea what's happening. But that's one thing that needs to be interjected: is wars are basically controlled demolition. It's meant to happen, and the soldiers themselves and the populace don't understand. That
doesn't sound healthy, Jenny.
And the people fighting it have no idea themselves.
Yeah, this is, for example, Chicago after Great Fire, right?
Oh wow,
also the same situation.
Mm-hmm.
You can find these antique style red brick constructions which completely destroyed. This is another war reset.
Hey Jenny, when you have a hot flash, try sticking your head in the freezer.
That so-called war, when you have all the city blocked, like it was with St. Petersburg or Leningrad, whatever you call it. They were in blockade for like maybe 900 days. So nobody was actually providing them with food or any other supplies except one small ice trail that they had. And so a bunch of people were dead, a bunch of bombing, a bunch of artillery shooting in the towns. Many structures were destroyed completely.
Bunch of nonsense.
So right now we
Look
have
at it all.
Syria, right? Also as a good example where you have like when it was before, it was a structure of ancient times, and now it's complete ruins. You know?
Yeah, and so and it looks melted.
So what is clay actually? Clay is the most part of
That looks
mud is
melted,
clay.
the other one.
So it's like 70-80% of mud is from clay. So clay is a strong absorbent. It absorbs liquid and gases, toxins, odors, gases, pus, microbes, etc. An excellent means for detoxification, neutralization of poison. So if you have a bunch of maybe corpses, right? What is the best
I
way
know
to
it's freezing
get rid
here
of them
too, Jenny.
if you don't have the cleanup resources? You fill the city with mud and clay.
Yeah, just bury everything. Yeah.
Just
And
bury it all.
clay is also used in cosmetics. For it has sterilizing properties. It heals wounds well, promotes restoration. So it's like very good, not only absorbent but also is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And on those post-reset photographs, you find out all those post-reset folks which are living in these mud-flooded constructions or trying to restore them, trying to clean up, and trying to take care of the place. So actually, after the complete restoration, they find that a bunch of floors are below and a bunch of facilities can be used if they clean this stuff up and take all this mud and clay out of those so-called basement floors.
Mm-hmm.
You can find
one thing, Phil. I don't want to interrupt you again. I would go back to that photo and mention this to anybody that has doubts these things. Imagine the one you just skipped over. This one here. Imagine for any skeptics out there, how would they go about building those doorways underground, and how would they go about doing that? This is definitely things that people, when they initially
They didn't build the doorways under the ground. The whole structure was built, or they built this piece of the structure on top of that old structure. You see, that might be a different structure right there. Or this might have been the whole structure, and the mud came in and flooded it and covered it, and they dug it out. That's what happened.
see,
but when they built this building, they had to level it off. You know what I'm saying? It has to be level to build the building. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to look into that more. If they probably build buildings on the sides of cliffs and stuff like that, but they need like stilts and shit.
Like I said, not mentioned in the history books, not mentioned in the school textbooks or by any teachers or the news history channel. And you got to let your eyes, see things. Like I always say, the blinded mind cannot. The eyes are useless. You have to open up your mind to these things, and it's very, very. I find this very, very interesting.
Nice.
Yeah,
I do too.
So you also find these pictures where somebody is cleaning up the area, like collecting corpses, taking them away, rubbing all this stuff, which is barely sticking out of the ground.
It's a drawing, but yeah, etching.
And also restoration, a bunch of restoration everywhere. People cleaning up the streets, reconstructing, digging something. A bunch of folks in suspicious clothes standing.
And this is how Boston looked. This is how every city looked at one point. So, and they say, all these other reasons of why it looks like that. But there's pictures like this surfacing everywhere. I don't know. I didn't see them when I was younger. But all of a sudden, past like 10 years, for me, it's been these types of pictures are showing up from history, which is strange.
And always watching with the hidden hands. Wherever you find those folks, you can find them everywhere. If you zoom in, they all have hidden hands there.
Masonic, yeah.
Yeah. No, so many anomalies on those pictures. For example, this is just a regular view, right? But you can see like empty windows, completely black and you can see like strange thing over here. What is that? And if you zoom in, you find that it looks like a bunch of corpses also.
Wow.
And those hidden handers everywhere in
Yeah.
Chicago fire, in every cleanup operation, there's some people
they're always
standing and posing the way they pose.
Well, Phil, the reason they're doing that, they're telling you this is a Masonic operation that's happening. Obviously, they're telling us without saying. Basically what they're saying is it's the Jesuits, it's the Masons. We're behind
the
all
Odd
of
Fellows,
this, without saying it, just by symbolism.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because I found a bunch of information from YouTube, and you had a different channel before, and it was blocked, I believe, right?
Oh, I had many channels that were wiped out, over 24 since probably 2008. Many channels have went poof, just gone, and so and it's just getting worse. The censorship is just getting worse and worse.
It is getting worse.
We just do our best to say things in a certain way to avoid problems. That's all we can do.
Mm-hmm.
And topics we cover too. Certain topics, unfortunately, we have to avoid altogether because it's not safe to speak on these things. There's no free speech on YouTube.
No.
Exactly, and I've been showing it live exactly in that video about your situation with Jaron and other folks.
No. All right, let's see what else we got here.
Definitely free. Been already.
All right. Well,
Fahrenheit 451, or read the book maybe about it. So those folks were actually burning books there. They were, tracking those people who possessed the books, and the guy actually found that.
All right, there you go. How we doing? Move back here. We got 19 people watching. Wow, pretty good. Well, let's give a shout out then. Bobby Marley, Forever Love. Dana, what's up? Jenny T.I. Murphy. Oh, Drew Duncan. Boynick. Machine Head. Nuba wants subs. Give her some subs. Or him. Her? I don't know why I thought of her. I don't know. I'm offering free web development to like-minded streamers. Ray, need a website? I do need a website. I do. I don't know nothing about it, though. I really don't. So we'll figure it out. Nancy! I'll have your people contact my people. And I'll have my secretary, Nancy, contact you, your accountant. And maybe the lawyers can figure something out. That's the best I can tell you. Trisha C. Forever Love. All right. So anyway. All right. What do I got going on here? I have a lot going on here. I have the whole world at my fingertips. What time is it? 3:12 in the morning. Why am I up? I don't know.
The plan might be too expansive. Over here getting new advances, while you over there doing dances. Show you how to move like a dance step. A simple nod of the head can get your man slept. Foreign whip with a foreign bit, bumping foreigner. Shooter got a bag for a body like the coroner. Told him follow my lead, I'm the forerunner. In New Orleans, but I sound like a northerner. We the truth like Sojourner. Been out the loop like 4 summers. Back in the booth doing more numbers. Taking out any oncomers. You were smart, you get a song from us, bitch.
sick and tired of your trash rhymes. You need to leave the mic alone, I'ma tell you for the last time. Fully auto mag, ready to discharge. Your baby mom's filling up my fridge with her WIC card. I got game and I stay with a thick broad. Money and drugs in a container at the shipyard. My style is aggressive. This a murder message. I hold burners to serve purpose and murder peasants. Slide off and flee the scene with the heat smoking. Kick a nigga in his ass till my feet broken. You couldn't win, nigga, keep hoping. Got your grandmother frying me chicken while she deep throating. Your whole rap style is delicate. You soft, so I be insulting your intelligence. In my closet, it's a whole lot of skeletons. Cause it's the only place where I'm hiding evidence.
Taste the product like cop and yayo. Pass the chronic like hot potato. I'm in charge like I'm Scott Baio. Gotta win, we cannot fail. Clock bell, size of whales on them lock scales. Kill your dogs like some foxtails. They going down like a prop fail. Get them smothered like oxtail. Get your cap peeled back like a hell L. Sending packs through the snail mail.
Come on. That's a grip of the serpent. That's the words of a liar. As I search to acquire the fire, first to inspire me to curse in each verse with the ire. You're witnessing the rebirth of the fighter. Need to do some research on a spider. Feet first with the bugs in my web, and I had madness on my mind. Doing drugs up at 7, throwing slugs up at heaven. Scorching from the flame of the hellfire burning. I'm an orphan of the game. Purple rain leaking, black coffin in my vein. I can see my sanity encircling the drain. Flush with the rush of the pills crushed up in my well. Am I still fucked up? Tell me where's the plug? It's so bad I'd have pulled it. A car out of fuel, I'm a gad out of bullets. I'm gone.
I'm on it, and I'm violent. A little unstable, it's probably my environment. All the time spent trying to write me around to get out though. Could we cutthroat? But above all, I'm a warrior. Look, my blood pump, high octane, I flame on. Cut a line and go straight to the brakes, you crash dummies. Wipe the mud up off my face, watch the sun shine down on me. Risen from the ashes, swinging for the fence with a bat named Lucille, like Walking Fucking Dead. Pop the trunk, I'm fed up, turn the street to bedlam. Murder, murder, red rum, drill a beat like Ted Bundy. I've been at this shit forever, man, for oh so long. Trying to paint a perfect picture with the tools that I got. Or maybe it's the death of my pops in a box full of ashes, passing around like a souvenir, asking me questions about him. Detention keep stacking. The fact of the matter is I'm just a bastard. Now fuck what you talking, I've heard it 1,000 times. Back of my mind, I had thought about suicide. Walk with my head up, but act just to crack a smile. Dealt with the hurt and the anger keep coming out. I'm on it, and I'm violent. A little unstable, it's probably my environment. All the time spent trying to write me around to get out though. Could we cutthroat? But above all, I'm a warrior. Look, my blood pump, high octane, I flame on. Cut a line and go straight to the brakes, you crash dummies.
All right, we can get into this. Oh, what is he talking about? Ray's talking to himself again. Let's see that. Oh, here it is.
You're funny.
Hold on. All right. Now that's CGI. I know for a fact that's CGI. All right, let's see.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. Who was able to make war with him.
Brian was here, boy, earlier. I don't know. Might still be lurking.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome once again to the Midnight Ride. My name is David Carrico, and it is my great honor to welcome each and every one of you into the Pure Barn once again for the Midnight Ride with myself and John Pounders.
Let's see.
Tonight,
Are we getting into anything? Are we going to show anything? Is this a talk show? I'm sorry, guys. I can't listen to these guys.
Down, they're breeding a race of giants, and the Lord.
That's the type of shit I'm talking about. That's the type of shit that people see and they think, and I'm not saying what they're saying isn't important or whatever, but like people don't want to, I don't know. There's a difference. There's all different kinds of mudflood research going on. I'm not saying, I just don't want to hear them talk about giants. I want to see some evidence, Oh, man. What else do we got? What was that other one that I seen? Hold on one sec. There was another good one that I seen. Sorry, guys. I need more time.
I'm starting to see clearer than I ever have. Bipolar, tell me which one is my better half. Eyes colder cause I slipped up on my better path. My shoulders are so chipped I almost never laugh. You can hear my revving wrath sounding like the engine of a 747 crash. Back out the trash, I was never more as ready as. Now I'm feeling sharper than a heavy ass machete slash. Give me lip, cut your head in half, you won't get it back. Had some dead weight on my back, I got rid of that. Got my head straight and left the flask in my lidded past. And I ain't bitter or a quitter, but consider that I lost a few rings. I'm trying to do things to get it back. Cause life isn't all roses and daffodils, especially when you rose from the bullet holes and smashed up pills. Made it out alive, but pissed away $500,000. Trying to keep a smile, I'm having a hard time laughing still.
Keep this smile while they keep looking down on me. Knocked down, I get up, this is how to be. Knocked down, I get up, this is how to be. Knocked down, I get up, this is how to be. Keep this smile while they keep looking down on me. Knocked down, I get up, this is how to be. Knocked down, I get up, this is how to be. Knocked down, I get up, this is how to be. Knocked down, knocked down, knocked down, knocked down, knocked down, knocked down, knocked down.
Back with a ton of fire, allow me to run it by ya. The stunning ire and the anger of a cunning liar. Each thought rapidly pop like a gun is fired. So when my son is Sam, damn it, and my son Messiah. It's hunger, fire, pain, and anger in a jambalaya. But they don't wanna see it cooking, they just wanna fry ya. So for a minute I felt tired and uninspired. It's not long before regrets come running by ya. My stomach tied up in knots, I ride up the blocks and size up and plot with thoughts that I had outfoxed. Too many things to get here to just retire and watch. Started feeling like a fighter that's still dying in a box. So until the day I die in a box, I'ma persevere through everything and anything. I know that it hurts to hear, but I ain't going nowhere. I'm just so set up to win that even when I get knocked down, I know that I'll get up again.
Keep this smile while they keep looking down on me. Knocked down, I get up, this is how to be. Knocked down, I get up, this is how to be. Knocked down, I get up, this is how to be. Keep this smile while they keep looking down on me. Knocked down, I get up, this is how to be. Knocked down, I get up,
Let's see that.
Just one night. Over time, skin looks smoother and firmer. Midnight Cream by L'Oréal Paris.
Our government textbooks tell us that nobody in the ancient world had ever crossed the Atlantic before Columbus, but the voyage of the Mayflower only took 60 days. Are we honestly to believe that no one had ever previously taken the 60-day trip in all of human history? The great civilizations of ancient Egypt, Babylon, Sumer, Greece, Rome, and the seafaring Phoenicians never wondered what was out west past 59 days sailing? If we accept this improbability, we have to accept many more along with it, because the Native American cultures of the New World and the Eurasian cultures of the Old World were already far too similar to have naturally evolved separately. For instance, compare the Peruvians and Egyptians. The number of complex comparisons between the two peoples far surpasses serendipity. Both cultures believed in an immaterial soul which reincarnates through multiple physical existences. They both worshipped the sun, moon, and stars, and held amazing astronomical knowledge, much of which has just recently been rediscovered. Both peoples built amazing stone pyramids, often containing boulders too heavy for modern cranes to lift, quarried from miles away. Both cultures embalmed and mummified their dead. Peruvian and Egyptian royalty both wrapped children's heads in the practice of skull elongation, like trepanning, to attain higher consciousness. They both divided the year into 12 months. Both peoples had a women's order of Vestal virgins vowed to celibacy, and violating their vows was punished on both continents by being buried alive. Both cultures offered animal sacrifices and divined the future by examining the animal's entrails. They both built huge arches and strewed the road with flowers for returning home triumphant warriors. At the beginning of each agricultural season, during a big celebration, the kings placed their hands to the plow and plowed the first furrow. Are we to believe such incredibly specific practices developed completely independent of one another? Ignatius Donnelly wrote, "When the Spanish missionaries first set foot upon the soil of America in the 15th century, they were amazed to find the cross was as devoutly worshipped by the Red Indians as by themselves. Ancient symbols like the cross and the swastika already existed in the Americas long before the Europeans came. Egyptian symbols like the Akeru, back-to-back lion gods hieroglyph, are found in Olmec temples from ancient Mexico. We have also found Mayan art and glyphs in Egypt. Modern Mayans and tribal Egyptians both recognize the languages found in their countries as that of their ancestors, and both can read much of it. We've discovered artwork 2,000 to 3,000 years old, clearly depicting Negroes and Caucasians in Central America. The establishment remains silent on all these issues. The similarities between Old World European and American peoples are vast and difficult to accept as mere coincidence. The use of cement, bricks, arches, and advanced masonry and architecture is found on both sides of the Atlantic, as well as roads, stone and suspension bridges, metallurgy, ore mining of copper, tin, bronze, gold, silver, and iron, sculpture, painting, engraving, agriculture, navigation, large sailing vessels, pottery, glasswork, and music. Both Old and New Worlders fashioned the same weapons like bows and arrows, spears, swords, battle axes, darts and slings. Baptism, confession, penance, all long existed on both continents. Ignatius Donnelly wrote, "If we find on both sides of the Atlantic precisely the same arts, sciences, religious beliefs, habits, customs, and traditions, it is absurd to say that the peoples of the two continents arrived separately, by precisely the same steps, at precisely the same ends." When we consider the resemblance of the civilizations of the Mediterranean nations to one another, no man is silly enough to pretend that Rome, Greece, Egypt, Assyria, Phoenicia, each spontaneously and separately invented the arts, sciences, habits, and opinions in which they agreed. But we proceed to trace out the thread of descent or connection from one to another. Why should a rule of interpretation prevail as between the two sides of the Atlantic, different from that which holds good as to the two sides of the Mediterranean Sea? If in the one case similarity of origin has unquestionably produced similarity of arts, customs, and condition, why, in the other, should not similarity of arts, customs, and condition prove similarity of origin? Is there any instance in the world of two peoples without knowledge of or intercourse with each other happening upon the same invention, whether that invention be an arrowhead or a steam engine? If it required of mankind a lapse of at least 6,000 years before it began anew the work of invention, and took up the thread of original thought where Atlantis dropped it, what probability is there of 3 or 4 separate nations all advancing at the same speed to precisely the same arts and opinions? The proposition is untenable. If, then, we prove that on both sides of the Atlantic civilizations were found substantially identical, we have demonstrated that they must have descended one from the other, or have radiated from some common source. Stubborn Egyptologists, anthropologists, and our government textbooks also claim that the ancient Egyptian, Sumerian, and Babylonian cultures all somehow started at the height of their civilization and rapidly devolved as their empires fell. This is standard accepted fact, but how is it possible that such advanced cultures just magically appeared at the beginning of recorded history? James Arthur wrote, "The region of Mesopotamia, which seems to have suddenly appeared out of nowhere, according to academia, had a high knowledge of astronomy, architecture, a pantheon of gods, agriculture, gourmet foods, and courts. It is considered to be the cradle of civilization. Mesopotamia, in the north, encompassed the rivers Tigris and Euphrates, which flowed from the Garden of Eden in the Genesis stories. The places known as Atlantis, Dilmun, and Lemuria are mentioned in the records of Sumeria. This is an obvious indication that these societies or cities predated the Sumerian era. Therefore, the Mesopotamian civilization did not suddenly appear out of nowhere. It was more likely a relocated, ancient, lost civilization." Stephen Meller said, "One of the great mysteries that Egyptologists can never explain is this devolution, this retrograde. You look at the Old Kingdom, the pyramids, the type of hieroglyphs, the type of jewelry, the type of art produced, and then as it goes forward to the Middle Kingdom, it devolves. It's less advanced. To the New Kingdom, when they didn't even build in granite or limestone anymore, but in sandstone, a much softer stone, easier to work with. Are we honestly to believe that advanced mathematics, medicine, astronomy, architecture,
Well, I fucked that one up. I'm trying to get some shit together for a second.
Earth is flat, what you gonna do about it? The earth is flat, what you gonna do about it? The earth is flat, now what you gonna do about it? The earth is flat, now tell me what you think you're gonna do about it. Tell me what you think you're gonna do about it. Tell me what you think you're gonna do about it. Tell me what you think you're gonna do about it. Earth is flat. What you gonna do about it? I thought you knew about it. Would you rather do without it? The earth's a center, the sun and moon moves around it like a clock. Can you hit a moving target with a rocket? I'm not hard to get along with, just take a bong hit. Do you serve up any content? The stars are constant. You want a consolation for it? It makes me vomit. We never do get hit by comets. I know you want it, just leave it under the use of comment. NASA lost it. The earth is flat, what you gonna do about it? Earth is flat, what you gonna do about it? The earth is flat, what you do about it? The earth is flat, what you gonna do about it? The earth is flat, what you gonna do about it? The earth is flat, what you gonna do about it? The earth is flat, now tell me what you think you're gonna do about it. Tell me what you think you're gonna do about it. Tell me what you think you're gonna do about it. Tell me what you think you're gonna do about it. You know it's flat, and there is a bunch of us. Though he's munching on a bunch of snuffleupagus. You think it's cute? Then why not cuddle up with us? We know it's flat, why you making such a fuss? My supper was the fucking best, that's just because the earth is flat. It hit me like an uppercut to the nuts. The earth is flat, and there's nothing you can do. The earth is flat, and there's nothing you can do. There's a Russian with the crew, don't forget to brush after your food. Asteroids, and asteroids too. The earth is flat, and there's nothing you can do. The earth is flat, there's nothing you can do about it. The earth is flat, there's nothing you can do about it. The earth is flat, and there's nothing you can do about it. The earth is flat, there's nothing you can do about it. The earth is flat, there's nothing you can do about it. What you gonna do about it? The earth is flat, what you gonna do about it? The earth is flat. It's fucking flat. The earth is fucking flat. The earth is fucking flat. The earth is fucking flat.
All you see is crooks. About to go in, son.
Immortal technique.
Good looking on the beat. Forever P.
You American.
Look. Killer bees back in the building with machine in them. We creaming them. My pockets of dirty money, I'm clean again. Ain't got to tell you I'm dope, just stick the needle in. The goose is off light, big enough to fit this eagle in. Just the seasoning, why ask why? I has my reasons and my birds don't need no seasoning. Methyl D in this evening. Now ask yourself, is that really air that you breathing in? I think outside the box, did I find a box I can keep them in? Or just leave it then, like a bouncer won't let your people in. People said they want that old map, what is the prequel then? I get medieval, some people won't make the prequel then. Leave them in the fetal position, F it, I'm leaving it. I use the system, you cowards use euphemisms. Women call me super daddy, my powers is supervision. Who gave you permission to speak? To learn you listen, learn to listen to a different MC. You learn the difference in addition if you're missing MC. Sign this petition, get a fraction of that faction subtracted by my division. I'm a boss, so that means I make decisions. Slash killing, I will kill an MC to make a living. Yeah, call me super daddy, my powers is supervision. Who? Supervision, supervision. Who?
Casting raps, you get your back snapped in half and seven.
All up in the club, putting squad up. Supervision, throw your squad up. Supervision, throw your squad up.
Impossible pain beyond measure.
Throw your squad up. Cigar guts, all up in the club, putting squad up.
There's a new housing plan for the ghetto eventually. Project for a new American century. False flag terrorism controlling you mentally. The gospel in the hands of people with no empathy. A mixture of dangerous social chemistry between law enforcement and a military entity. Cameras on the corner of every corner you facing. Testing out a future Gestapo on immigration. Power, consolidation, information restricted. Just like the iron law of oligarchy predicted. Incarcerating the poor among the drug addicted. But not the families of the ruling class that's afflicted. Cause it's a fucking caste system like corrupted Hinduism. I think you should listen. I've been through the system in prison. I've been through religion. Carried the cross as a Christian like it was anti-disestablishmentarianism. Until the seeds of despotism arrested my vision. Lyricism with cynicism and syllogisms. Until they Pedro Albizu Campos and kill me in prison. Chemtrail conditions, stem cells of Leo Strauss's philosophy. The birth of neocon policy. But I laugh at America's fear of a new world order controlling the hemisphere. Cause my people been living that for the past 500 years.
Intelligence, understand. Supervision who? Supervision, supervision who?
Casting raps, you get your back snapped in half and seven.
All up in the club, putting squad up.
do we trust? Who do we trust? The faction. Who do we trust? Who do we trust?
Impossible pain beyond measure.
Squad up, cigar guts all up in the club, putting squad up.
Caterpillar metamorphosis to bigger nigga. Lantern in his hand, headless horseman to the rhythm. Been successful for so long I can no longer feel it. Taking finger pricking mob initiating members. I'm far beyond the dawn, my title ain't even listed. Federales listen, only hear me chewing, sipping. Dancing with a doll, prom night with Cinderella. Then we dip in the Ferrari flyers, Tom Selleck. Vocals on Tony Bennett, I'm only in it to later see people I taught tell me, yo, we did it. I led a revolution in the world of tech and music. Free the homie, did his time and paid the restitution. Time go quick, better have all your goals set. You getting yours or just hanging on like an old dick. I can talk about money, we ain't the same, son. It's just different when you came from where I came from.
Yeah, it's me again. This thing of ours you will probably never see again. But for the growth, it's the oath we're believing in. Locks, Costa Nostra, yeah, it's 3 of them. Lucci and him, I'm the nigga they can't stand no. More work, more ammo. Gambino in a Lambo. Call me for a situation you can't handle. More caskets, more murals, more candles. True poet, Audemars, you blow it. Ever I know, I'd rather die for you know it. High profile, this shit sells. Call Mary Richmond and tell him pick 12. Cause we never sing, we on the better things. Pride is nothing, integrity is everything. Yeah, if you broke, how you giving advice? Me and my niggas, we just living the life, yeah.
Call me Super Daddy, my powers is supervision. Who? Supervision, supervision. Who?
Casting raps, you get your back snapped in half and 7.
All up in the club, putting squad up. Supervision, throw your squad up. Supervision, throw your squad up.
Impossible pain beyond measure.
Squad up, cigar guts all up in the club, putting squad up.
Whistleblower, men are afraid of label the threat of traitor. Executive legislator trying to suppress your behavior. Intelligence interrogator collecting metadata, condemning the messenger and censoring the educator. CIA feed the propaganda to the television. In the next edition, the pundits preach it in repetition. Loyal to the monarchy, hereditary or elected. A royal family and a president selected.
Secret society, secret
supervision, supervision. Who?
Casting raps, you get your back snapped in half and 7.
Impose restraints against your will.
Who? Throw your squad up. Supervision, throw your squad up.
Impossible pain beyond measure.
Throw your squad up. Call me Super Daddy, my powers is supervision. Who? Supervision, supervision. Who?
Casting raps, you get your back snapped in half and 7.
All up in the club, putting squad up. Supervision, throw your squad up. Supervision, throw your squad up.
Impossible pain beyond measure.
Throw your squad up. Cigar guts all up in the club, putting squad up.
You don't stop shooting till that motherfucker's in 1,000 pieces.
Yeah, I got this motherfucker, man. Comes around here and getting shot up.
Yeah.
He's here, he's here.
Weatherman, President is in the building. Those that came for my life need to get in line.
The suicide by cops, sweater is on. Fucked up out my mind, the gun in my belt vanished, the voice yells out. Enjoy your summer in hell. Dead friends and family surround me where they found me. An apparent suicide out of bounty on my spirit. Higher than I ever been, overlooking my weight, the closed casket. Cause I had took off the face. Cause I ain't never liked nobody staring at me. I'm feeling sappy. Made a few people sad, but I'm really happy. My crew standing there with shovels just grinning when the sun dropped and the client stopped us back to the living. Cause I ain't really think I'd go out like Kirk. Did you? Beat G.G. Allen to the punch and do it at a venue. Hopped out the coffin like Davey Blaine. I hit y'all with a decade of verses, I guess, for baby fame. You wanna plug? Think this underground shit so far up your ass, you stutter now. Keep looking the cover. How the fuck did rap turn into big and pop karaoke? Back in the 80s, David Shipper kept it very low-key. I know I'm speaking to less than 1% of the public, but this is for the people that caught movies and loved it. Y'all better hope I don't catch AIDS of the big C, cause the day they say I'm going is in the week up from the Whitney. From the smallest of riffs to the biggest of beefs, I'ma be the first rap serial killer in the streets. I'm caught somewhere between a thug and intelligent. I bug off an elephant, acid strapped off the elephant along with the rest of the insect nation. Standing there with bloody arms like it's a hallucination. This could be the last you ever know of I, cause my spirit and physical just can't coincide. Used to write patterns, now they write for themselves. If you ain't in the depth, step back when I'm lighting up L's. You mix the blood of Christ with Bruce Campbell. Huff the evil dead once, twice. And got an army of darkness handle on my heater. So watch your back when I follow the leader. Don't sweat the technique of the weed I roll. CC the low. Dunny Darko still dipping the engines. Man tame like the grips and guards from different dimensions. Convertible Timbs converted with ends. Manipulation of the truth like my hyperbole friends. Shotty in the John, I'm like Vincent Vegas. Fix them haters. 6 hoes blow me in a pimp with pistol gators. Chinatown, Dumbo Doe, bootleg on my shit. Cause they sell in the stores what I sell on the net. I got more juice than Bieber. Little Robbie Knievel skipped the course. Ricky Vicky late before she did a show on Diesel. The Diesel climb from the bag into the booklets. And I'm about to let the meters cook like PPP in the kitchen. Look at all the death that's surrounding us. I'm jumping to my cigarette just to be down with us. Bring a chick to the moon if she down to crush. Take it back to the planet just to cop a pound of dust. Look at all the death that's surrounding us. He jumped into my cigarette just to be down with us. Bring a chick to the moon if she down to crush. Thinking back to the planet just to cop a pound of dust. I dip my cigarettes in the most wicked of liquids that have me blacking out like 6 solar eclipses. Flip like light switches, I'm unpredictable with it, with blunts that smell funny. The insides is mentioned. I touch my brain with the effect of purple rain wet up. Full of the sherm dead up. Fried and messed up. My Newport walked off illy, making me silly. Brain body and toxic, now I'm 5150. As the world turns, the sherm is spinning me backwards, knocking me off axis from soaking my Dutch masters. Out of control until my high go down. I mix 2 liters a leak per hydro valve. It's like dreaming with your eyes open. Knowing what's up, but you can't control nothing, so you might go nuts. I lose focus off the hocus pocus. Smoking ferocious, exceeding any and all known medical doses. Look at all the death that's surrounding us. I'm jumping to my cigarette just to be down with us. Bring a chick to the moon if she down to crush. Dig it back to the planet just to cop a pound of dust. Look at all the death that's surrounding us. He jumped into my cigarette just to be down with us. Bring a chick to the moon if she down to crush. Thinking back to the planet just to cop a pound of dust. My brain thinks around the holes in it. Infinite running stream of conscious I could drown in any minute. Leave a shot up to die in a dead goose. Spidey hits the Mary Jane, then he lets the web loose. Swing from bitch to hoe like buildings. In the same shirt my pops was killed in. Blunt got more juice than 3 dead children. Weak brothers blast off them blast for the cake. And the first to die gets smoked by the crew out the way.
This is our brain on drugs. We get a buzz and write the sickest lyrics ever that was. With a rush, vanilla Dutch, pretty much. Roll it with an intricate Dutch. Blaze it up and we start thinking too much. Mix the goodie with some backyard bookie to stretch it. Listen to records for a message and use various methods. Smoke wash in Vegas for breakfast. Herb got me slurring my S's, making me restless. Fresh from off the guest list. Look at all the death that's surrounding us. He jumped into my cigarette just to be down with us. Bring a chick to the moon if she down to crush. Dig it back to the planet just to cop a pound of dust. Look at all the death that's surrounding us. He jumped into my cigarette just to be down with us. Bring a chick to the moon if she down to crush. Dig it back to the planet just to cop a pound of dust.
Y'all fucked up. Should've stuck me in ICU. Cause the type of shit that I'm on when I see you. $1.50 in the face, just trying to graze you. The blade go in the bone and your face gets stuck to my razor. Kick your shoulders from your head while you pleading your case. And the little girls you wet like, yo, he's gonna eat his face. Pull out 2 9s and an 8. 2 for killing, 1 for drilling. Hold metal to your face if you think you super villain. Talk to women with sex and a guard with a pistol. Fuck a Mary Mossberg. My barrel staying single. With a pregnant pump, I let shit jump out on the floor. See how it moves. Now I leave out with tools. I'll leave out the school of robots by the chorus. When I jumped off the tour bus, ran home and did more dust. Stick your hands up like the camera's upside down, or you got pussy in your lap and you can fuck right now.
And if you wanna get freaky and nasty, we can make good and bag of the cabbie. Come to daddy. They wanna kill me at the club, put slugs in my mud, boy, I don't give a fuck. Come to daddy. These punks wanna jump, come to daddy. These chickens getting drunk, come to daddy. You want me to put slugs in you, come to daddy. Okay, come to daddy. Come to daddy.
I fall in on that spot, babe. I'm peeping your game. Swivel table around that ass, girls looking real good. These lame frauds try to play ball. I'm used to the pitch. I put a strain on your dame's body, scooping your bitch. So get played on that game, Paul. Loosen your shit. Cover, decorate your crib fast, moving your shit. I'm still peeping at your dame's ass, loosen the grip. On that neck, head through the plain glass, shoots in your wig. Yo, Cadillac STS with some tame dash. Tanqueray grapefruit juice, stained glass. And I spend cash all night and clap off twice and pack bombs tight and sip martinis fast, get ass all night. And I can come and choke you up and so hear it telling me not to do it when I swing you from the chair. Major pain to the establishment, made famous a second. Get pops and red spots on black blocks like checkers.
And if you wanna get freaky and nasty, we can make good and bag of the cabbie. Come to daddy. They wanna kill me in the club, put slugs in my mud, play, I don't give a fuck. Come to daddy. These punks wanna jump, come to daddy. These chickens getting drunk, come to daddy. You want me to put slugs in you, come to daddy. Come to daddy. Come to daddy.
You can't take shit too far, you can't take it far enough. You think Colin Powell came and A&R'd us. Pull out like pre-AIDS in front of your girl, scandalous shit. Take more strength out my finger to handle your chick. And when I leave, I bet she reopen her shit list. The best knockers I seen was on a Jehovah's Witness. So if your truck look good, I'll run the caddy. Tell your chickens come to daddy, not come with daddy.
Yo, some ecstasy pills, a bag of dope. I'll make you spaz out at the wheel, make you smash the poles. Get your head open and shatter your nose. And get them bitches open, cracking, laughing at homes. Boy, it's R&R up in the club, Liberty City, with you stripping bitches, sniffing on kitty, licking on titties, and the problem stops after the collars pop. Roofies have you with some ugly bitches swallowing crotch. And if you wanna get freaky and nasty, we can make good and bag of the cabbie. Come to daddy. They wanna kill me at the club, put slugs in my mud, play, I don't give a fuck. Come to daddy. These punks wanna jump, come to daddy. These chickens getting drunk, come to daddy. You want me to put slugs in you, come to daddy. Come to daddy. Come to daddy. the fuck up. Every rapper in the house, shut the fuck up. Every rapper in the house, shut the fuck up. Don't go against no other man, you wanna get fucked up. And I ain't fucked up now, bluffing the basics. Let stuff in the A6 from that kid, huffing the matrix. I let my brain cells fight it out until the light are out. You ain't even got hands to hold the guns you write about. Ain't got a heater in one cage, need more than 4 fists. I stay putting it down and don't come off this. Call bliss, not need a spray dolo with more letter combinations in my blood than K solo. LSD, THC, PCP. The only 3 left on these GED. You know you can't stand the manic, even if you don't get the picture. The point of use, the panoramic, chemical, organic. Leaf is clouding, get your contact cracking in 3 plus 2000. This is federal hate, the federal weight, the medical's great. It's the life of an underground rap star. Get lots of brain, but the birds are vain and peck at any vein. The life of an underground rap star. You spit it, you bit it, ain't even got your car kitted, you get it. This is the life of an underground rap star. Travel on somebody else's dime, they can still pull out the nine. This is the life of an underground rap. This is my brain on drugs, these are the drugs in my brain. I stabbed this shit out of Clyde, just like the blood in his game. After I fucked her insane. Sex pistol got a chest to spray. The fuck you think my identity was born yesterday? Been the Prince Elite since the purple rain was in the street. I part of the project for that CSO with you see. And the beam on my gun match the drink in my glass. It's incredible hope they on the incredible ass. Liquid kids, Snake Plissken drifting and tear off. Escape New York and come back when the sheesh wear off. Personality pair off till my skin phrase. Been gone for 10 days. Feel like 2, still like blue. The blast Ferrari red. Ain't forgiving the hope for giving up sorry head. Vintage electronic, Atari wet. Labels try to hype you up like you gon' fight Roy. Like that Jeff fucked around and signed the wrong white boy. This is federal hate, the federal weight, the medical's great. This is the life of an underground rap star. Get lots of brain, but the birds are vain and peck at any man. The life of an underground rap star. You spit it, you bit it, ain't even got your car kitted, you get it. This is the life of an underground rap star. Travel on somebody else's dime, man can still pull out the nine. This is the life of an underground rap star. This is the life of an underground rap star. This is the life of an underground rap star. This is the life of an underground rap star. This is the life of an underground rap star. This is your bitch. Yeah. Yeah, it's Haterama. So many faggots to swing the axe at. Who do I shoot first? Answer when I make this bad cow feel my boots hurt. Whoever's standing is part of the human pavement. Quitters and fans trying to rap the movements faded. Feel like I stuck in this shit. So draw the bucket this shit. Even Bobito said, fuck it, I quit. KCR shit me out, but you knew that. Reflector cool back to that late 90s beef. You shit that shoot at. The biggest pop star in the world threw dirt in my engine. But when I say his name, I look like Roy's trying to get attention. I know the legend, 110 stories you been shower. The only boss that hits in New York was the Twin Towers. It's only right my raps reflect evil. My only wish to trade places with them 3,000 dead people. Hindsight Halloween, you beg to open up. Daddy's legs coked it up. On stage choking up. Drop the mic and left. Cage arrived an hour later. Cause the opening acts bore me, especially them coward haters. Hey, Jack and Coke, 7L, fit lovely. Get to the side of the stage, these groupies try to touch me. Coming through, man. I love that shit. Yo, he look good. What was that? Bucks hit windshield harder than that. Wasted dude on rap, could have been through Harvard and back. I know you salty, I sold more in Beantown. You obscene now, wasting all your labels cream now. Trying to get violent, but gay is gay. The same day, New Yorkers was all more than JFJ. You got no respect, why give it? You don't get it. When toy ass crew can't be the paramedics. Too many card showings, do you know how to play the game? Throwing up consecutive bricks like it's your label's name. Oops, I guess it is. Fucking stick to the K. Your team probably front like they ain't on my dick in your face. And your career shit ain't even started. Clean up your style, help out Lifty, holding your whole scene up. You see
seen a sweat on his face, that's whole. I know you ain't sweat like that since you sent LP a demo. And his slang is outdated like, look, I'm butter now. You fatherfuckers still drown in my watered down. True, me and your producer got a pass beat, cause it was girls suck my dick while I wouldn't rock, it was trash beats. Bro, look girls, your health's vital. Cop the Nighthawks album, bitch, it's self-titled. Praise your boy's idol, every tonight'll seem like you and the cops are tight. Shoot up your ankles cause your socks are white. So pull up clocks tonight. Weatherman. Yeah. You think I was gonna say names, motherfucker? 7:30. The new laugh, you ain't selling records, how you gonna sell me records? I got a 7:30 for you, man. 7:30. 7:30. It's coming. 7:30. You can come back to New York, or you could come back to New York. It's all good, man. 7:30. I seen you at 2,500, man. Congratulations. 7:30. 7:30. 7:30. Simple, really. It's just like cut the head off the cat, you know? Stick a candle or a stick or something in the body. Hold it up, you know? And it's a form of celebration. It's a celebration. What's up, man? It's your man right here. I like your titties. I'm at Shorty at the mall, her bra holding 2 deep cups of Jello. My socks yellow from leaky hella. What a bag will do to you when a doobie is move me to a piece of property. Forget what I just put the groupie through. Gotta spin until the angel dizzy the diesel. Roll up the PC, please. I'm busy with evil. My hand on the tit, I'm commanding the clip. The span of the shit, nobody knows, but it's expanding the chip. Chicks wanna touch, I might go shoot up the fruit tonight. Dip in my mouth looking like I'm recruited by Lucifer. Ain't like what I roll up as anti-religious, but it's like I copped in Chinatown and was slanderized the bitches. This is for my weather people and clever people. Haters should speak against cause they were never equals. Drug fiends, I was happy to beat you. What you tell the asshole? I'm sorry I ain't treat you. Learn myself cause nobody said let me cheat you. This ain't for the Middletown people I still see through. This is for my weather people, the clever people. Haters should speak against cause they were never equals. Dust fiends, I was happy to beat you. What you tell the asshole? I'm sorry I ain't eat you. Learn myself cause nobody said let me cheat you. We follow the same road but we know where it leads to. Chrome 380 drive me crazy cause it's fun to clap my chip radar. Calling out more hoes than Thundercats. And that Burberry like a yuppie lumberjack. But you don't see the pattern till I take the coat off Blunder Black. Rolled up, ready for brain acupuncture. Then I took the hoodie off the clit and didn't munch her. Welcome to the strangest of days, there's dangerous ways. You find death, I found it in the angel and haze. Johnny Mnemonic with the bubonic and the leather goose. Fuck the North Face, it's what I got underneath this weatherproof. And when it jump out to speak, it'll greet you with a flash of light that leave you in a box, cause the worms need you. This is for my weather people, them clever people. Haters should speak against cause they were never equals. Drug fiends, I was happy to beat you. What you tell the asshole? I'm sorry I ain't treat you. Learn myself cause nobody said let me cheat you. This ain't for the Middletown people I still see through. This is for my weather people, the clever people. Haters should speak against cause they were never equals. Dust fiends, I was happy to beat you. What you tell the asshole? I'm sorry I ain't eat you. Learn myself cause nobody said let me cheat you. We follow the same road but we know where it leads to. And see hell's house, whatever bleeds yells out. And the first 2 letters of my clip is we spelled out. The locals hate me cause the locals love me. Every piece of shit MC with a dream from here can't touch me. Fuck me. That's what they hoes yell out, loving the penis. Tight like the rims in the street with the rubber between us.
Every time I wipe my eyes, I get cloudy. 10 local rappers wanna write a song about me. In and out of the hash like I'm in and out of the blue mesh. In and out of my mind like I'm in and out of the US. Drip sweat to NY, get wet then get high. And thank G.O.D. Al-Qaeda wasn't in the sky. This is for my weather people, the clever people. Haters should speak against cause they were never equals. Drug fiends, I was happy to beat you. What you tell the asshole? I'm sorry I ain't treat you. Learn myself cause nobody said let me teach you. This ain't for the Middletown people I still see through. This is for my weather people, the clever people. Haters should speak against cause they were never equals. Dust fiends, I was happy to beat you. What you tell the asshole? I'm sorry I ain't eat you. Learn myself cause nobody said let me teach you. We follow the same road but we know where it leads to. Fresh out the morgue, dip Newports in the corpse rolling. Now this ain't a bottle of Stoli, I'm higher than just Spicoli. Unholy, hope you got hands like the goalie. No need to call fair. This cage got balls of steel like a tall man. You see the snakes transform like D-Sex and Cobra. You wanna see Jehovah dump some of this kind of set in your shoulder. Somebody really needs to teach these babies. Half of this throwback shit wasn't popping in the 80s. If she in the mix, she gonna be in them flicks. You wanna start a revolution, take a key in your kick. I'm laid back like the GTC post. For PCP, mostly in Dutchess, you see chicks with heat that's free toast. In this new era of rap, I keep this fitted on my thinking cap. Danny Freeze on the rocks, why you drinking that? Cause shit is hot and it's the coolant till you know what you doing. Apparently not kiddies, he's one of my students. Drugstore, cowboy killer, no bucking crack rocks. The only cannons they holding is bucking snapshots. Too smart for prison, no felonies got me married. Cause I'm only 6 months away from my license to carry. Gats for the raps, the scramble to find cheese. Cause they Gucci and Louis all made by Chinese. WEATHGR music. Woman bored in the morgue, record and lose it. What? I'm going back to Stony. 6 months for vacay. Let my balls re-energize. All them dead baby milkshakes your clones is drinking. Now, Mascuno, what up? I'm in the rocks with the M21 Starlight sniper rifle. Can't see me, what? I say what up? Yo, we mixing, so yeah. Mix that up. Now dip the whole pound.
Now that our man's here, let's shut up and let him talk. Hey, how come you're always calling the shots?
Blue collar the corporate, bless the unfortunate. Like when I put my foot down, that bitch still aborted it. Stuck the canister under my jacket like a lucky one. Sir, you can't leave with that. Bitch, just my fucking son. Put it with the gun crammed in the glove box with 151 rum bottles. I don't drink, they getting flung. With lit rags in it, killed 10 stepdads a minute. There won't be a star to the label as the gimmick. Even if I limit timid, primitive cynics. Each one famous suicide at gunpoint to mimic. You too can be a mock celeb, or the last of res will be ghost like money that playing Casper and kids. I put a sick twist, every other frame design so you see AIDS victims selling pretzels at a slideshow with a 9 show. Not brand and skin them, run out of punchlines when you kids stop standing in. Yo, Chris, I think they think you know too much. Yeah, sis, I think you put coke up your nose too much. They cut my hands off so I couldn't hold too much. They try to kill me through my drip with these hoes too much. You stack dough too much, you smack holes too much. Well, you can blame it on the mint leaves I bone too much. They cut my hands off so I couldn't hold too much. Don't try to stand off, bullet hole show show too much. They say feet on dust, where the ounce a pound is like jumping out of building, grabbing napkins on the way down. My implant I scarred, I'm anti-star, though I shine like one buried underground with y'all. And I tried to learn good, just wasn't concerned. Should I really be on my 6th bottle of wormwood? My skin is burning, blistering aloe out. Drag this big fat bitch in to see shallow how. I Drake Jack Puff Black in Orange County, bought a gun with a body that's sticking this horse out. Knew this kid crazy, was kicked open and chick opener. Then I changed my name to Cage like Nick Coppola. All these snakes with their fork tongues stitched together. After I put down the pepper, I switched the weather. Whatever rights they wanna shrug off for safety, feeling taken for a ride by your parents cause they kneeling to Satan. Yo, Chris, I think they think you know too much. Yeah, sis, I think you put coke up your nose too much. They cut my hands off so I couldn't hold too much. They try to kill me through my dick with these hoes too much. You stack dough too much, you smack hoes too much. Well, you can blame it on the mint leaves, I roll too much. They cut my hands off so I couldn't hold too much. Don't try to stand off, bullet hole show too much. Then I stepped over the bloody axe frame with wax fame. Roll pistol running through New York like Max Payne. Out shooting celebs, I'm rooting for feds. In a pit of lions and we sip soup from the heads. I run with maniacs, liable to kill at any minute. Then I wonder why I can't shake this insanity image. It's been a decade since I've been strapped to beds and shot up with needles and vibes since I put gas to head. You was bitch in high school, no rep, no threat. Riding my jacket like I'm a hand off the fans and coat check. Haters wanna put their bitches up, no stress. Like your life in a monitor box behind a desk. I scribble shit on paper, pay rent, look at nature. See a menage before lunch, them bitches are ravers. Drop lasers, psilocybe my North Face, tripping formaldehyde and short circuit my taser. Yo, Chris, I think they think you know too much. Yeah, sis, I think you put coke up your nose too much. They cut my hands off so I couldn't hold too much. They try to kill me through my dick with these hoes too much. You stack dough too much, you smack hoes too much. Well, you can blame it on the mint leaves, I roll too much. They cut my hands off so I couldn't hold too much. Don't try to stand off, bullet hole show too much.
From Mattapan, going through Dorchester to get to Roxbury, just to get more fresh air. Going up Mass Ave, hoping to Newberry. I need the new what? I say a new everything. I got game in the hood, swear to God, everybody know my name in the hood. And the clothes are dope, yes I must say. Threads and emos, Adidas, Johnny Cupcake. Hey girl, come here. I'm one of them boys that be in front of the corner mall downtown crossing. I'm a dawn to come out, comprende. Eyes like the cigar sign, smoking on Fenway. I never go to sleep, never woke up, nothing sweet, but I'm dunking cause my donuts. Hi Tiffany, can we date, hun? I'm Mr. Boston, not from VH1. No! Yes! King Spider. There was ever a question in your mind? Who's the best of the beat? Stop it. I'm the motherfucking king. Beacon Hill, I know you got me. I see you, Duval. D-How. Where we at? Sometimes I want to go somewhere, man. You know? Where everybody know my motherfucking name. Everybody do cocaine, you know? It's a place like Boston, you know? Beacon Hill, Paul Revere shit.
I supposed to go? I don't think I could do this for too much longer, man. These are the last verses I'll ever write. Lonely roads have been walked, the winter's been long, the ice is never melting. The price of my sins, I'm on a credit card, still paying my debts, my personal health's sweltering. Kids looking up to me, what should I tell to them? The nightmares upon me, the dirty laundry's on me. I am the darkness standing amongst an army of zombies. The serenade of a renegade has been sung already, and then some, but the past is catching up, coming to get me. People know my blow to face everywhere I go to chase a cop. I need to slow down, I need to stop. It motivates my flow to space, and motor races in my thoughts. I'm moving at the speed of light, I can't slow the pace. Mommy crying on the phone, wife kicked me out the crib. Strangers wanna buy me drinks, right about the life we live. Push me deeper down, I creep around in this isolation. But what am I after now? What is this life I'm chasing? Back into the darkness, everywhere that I go. My enemies are all dead, it's all my survival. It's all about being more ruthless than a rival. Pistol in my pants with my hands on the Bible. And I can't see the world beyond. I'm too far gone, I can't go home. He's starting to drink again, I seen him smoking in the alley downtown the other night. He's doing coke again. He thinks he's getting rich, he's just gonna be broken in a million different pieces with the hands of fate choking him. I'm still alone, walking with the killer's dome. I never left this place, but I don't feel at home no more. My memories are moving slow, my past is speeding faster, full of anger and rage. And I'm a greedy bastard, dollar signs in my rhymes, Benjamins are in my eyes. Enemies are hard for me to see, pretenders in disguise. My mind's fucked up inside, I can't remember lies, I don't even know the truth. I've been on a bender like ever since September, right? Now we're into February. What about the bodies in your past that you said you buried? I can't remember shit, digging up the cemetery. The voices in my head are back, you talking to them already? Back into the darkness, everywhere that I go. My enemies are all dead,